Did you get a Slayer task for Pyrefiends? Well, in today's video, I'm going to be doing a quick guide on how to slay Pyrefiends in old school RuneScape. For the requirements, you need 30 Slayer, and they are assigned from Mashner and Vanica. And honestly, Pyrefiends are a fantastic enemy to kill because even though they have a little bit higher of requirement, they actually don't really hit a lot, and you can kill these extremely quickly. So let's take a look at their loot. On average, a Pyrefiend kill is worth 413 GP. They drop ashes, which you can bury for some prayer XP, so that's always nice. They also drop a steel axe at a 1 in 32, steel full helm, a staff of fire at 1 in 42, mithril chain body at 1 in 64, steel boots at 1 in 128, which steel boots are actually on the collection log, so you may need this guide just to get your collection log slot. And they also drop adamant med helms, which could potentially be an upgrade depending on where you're at in your Iron Man grind if you're an Iron Man, or it might also be nice just to go ahead and high out that depending. For the runes they drop 30 fire runes or 60 fire runes. They also drop some chaos runes and death runes as well. As far as the coins go, they drop anywhere from 10 to 450 coins, so they're decent for coins, just it's nice that they stack and you don't really have to worry about it. They do also drop gold ore and jugs of wine, which aren't really worth picking up unless for some reason you're not going to be there very long, then go ahead and do that. You have a 3 in 128 chance to hit the gem drop table, which you have a 1 in 85 chance to get nothing, which is always a great time. However, you are able to get a few gems along with your shield left half and dragon spear, all that good stuff. If you're in the wilderness, they could also potentially drop looting bags and ecumenical keys, which is solid if you're doing God Wars dungeon, and they could also drop medium clue scrolls at a 1 in 28 or a 1 in 64. So that is the loot from Pyrefiends. They are, like I said, not too bad to kill. Let's go ahead and get into their stats here a little bit. So for their stats, they are a 43 combat level. Their max hit is 4. So again, the max hit only being 4 when they're at 43 combat levels wild. They also are not aggressive or poisonous, and they use magical melee attacks. And what that means for those of you guys that don't know is that they hit with melee, but that melee is actually magic. So you want to bring your best magic defense equipment, which means that you should be wearing some dragon hide or something along those lines, something with high magic defense. So normally your range armor. So if you take a look at their defense, they don't really have very much defense. So honestly, you could kill them with whatever you want. However, I highly recommend using the water spells, because if you use water spells, they have a 100% weakness, which is absolutely crazy. And you will hit super high if you are using water spells. So again, highly recommend water spells. All right, as far as your inventory goes, I recommend runes for water spells. Again, if you're using magic, if not, don't need to worry about that. Runes to alch things, you don't need that, but it's always nice to alch things so you can stay longer. Runes to teleport out, and food or prayer pots. Again, they will smack you, but they won't hit you very hard, especially if you're using that magic defense armor like we discussed previously. I do want to call out there are 6 locations for Pyrefiends. I'm only going to go over 2 because they're the ones that make sense. I'm going to go over the Fremmennik Slayer Cave, which is where we're at right now, the Isle of Soul, which I will show you where and how to get to that. They also spawn in the God Wars dungeon, Sisterhood Sanctuary, Smoke Dungeon, and Wilderness God Wars dungeon. Again, I'm not going to go over those because I don't think it's really worth it. So these are the easiest places to go. So for those of you guys that don't know, the Fremmennik Slayer dungeon is located at Fairy Ring AJR, or it is north of Sears Village, Camelot area. It's also a little bit to the southeast of Relica. So AJR is going to be your best way to get there. Otherwise, you can just run up from Sears Village and go over this log balance if you want. Otherwise, you need to just kind of run around the whole place. But this is where you need to be for the Fremmennik Slayer dungeon. Once you're here, go ahead and run in. Now, the Pyrefiends are, there's a little agility shortcut here. I don't remember exactly what you need. You need 43 agility in order to get through this agility shortcut. So I'm personally going to use that. Otherwise, if you don't have 43 agility, you need to run through the rock slugs and cockatrices in order to get there, and that will just be north and just follow the path along to the side. But I'm going to go ahead and just use the agility shortcut. This does have a chance to damage you, by the way, so keep that in mind. All right, so here we are at the Pyrefiend location, and again, they're not aggressive, which makes things nice. There is kind of a safe spot here if you want to use it. It's kind of a pain to set up, but you can use it if you want to, especially if you're using magic or range. You just got to kind of wait for the movement, and then again, like, you just absolutely obliterate these things with water spells. It's wild. But if you can get a few spawn in here, it's really nice. My magic level is 69, by the way, in case you're curious, and you can just literally just sit here and not even take damage. Now again, their max hit's only 4, so it's not the end of the world if you want to run out here and just get, you know, smacked by them a little bit, because they're not going to absolutely obliterate you. Especially if you bring some food, you should be able to get many of these completed. And again, that's basically it. You can use a safe spot if you want. Otherwise, you can just go ahead and sit here and you are good to go. Pretty basic enemy to defeat. Again, you're looking for the steel boots or a couple of the other higher alchemical items. So that is where they are in the Fremmennik Slayer dungeon. I'm going to run over to a fairy ring real quick, and I'm going to show you where they are on the Isle of Soul. Now, you could use the teleport if you want to for the Isle of Soul. So if you go ahead and take a look on the mini-map here, here's the Isle of Soul. If you use your minigame teleport, it's going to take you right here, which isn't really that great. However, the Pyrefiends are right here. So you're going to want to go ahead and use a BJP, that fairy ring, and you'll be good to go. If you don't have this fairy ring, you could just use a Soulverse teleport and make a massive run. This island looks small, but it's actually pretty massive. So I'd highly recommend just using this fairy ring, BJP. And if you don't have it, you should just be killing these over at the Fremmennik Slayer dungeon, because it'll make your life a little bit easier if you don't have access to, you know, fairy rings. So again, fairy ring BJP. And the great thing is they are literally right here. So you see there's somebody else already killing them. Shout out to Hot Diggity. You are the homie. And yeah, you can just go ahead and start smacking them and you'll be good to go. These ones are also not aggressive, but again, just use your magic spells and you'll be good to go. Make sure that you have your high magic defense and you'll be good. That is basically all there is to Pyrefiends. Nothing too crazy. Again, pretty simple monster to kill. But if you guys enjoyed this quick guide, make sure you subscribe to the channel, leave a like for the algorithm if you guys are new. Also, channel memberships are live. If you guys are interested to support the channel directly, you guys will get access to all of my videos before they go live. As soon as I upload them, members get access to my videos. So if you're interested in that and supporting the channel, make sure you click the join button down below or the link in the description. That said, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.